Welcome to this walkthrough guide on how to change your primary Gmail address. For pretty much as long as Gmail has been around, your Gmail address has been locked in. So whatever you picked when you signed up, that was it for life. And if you wanted a different one, your only real option was to start a brand new account and drag everything across, which, let's be real, is a massive pain. Well, that's just changed. Google now lets you change the primary email on your Google account and swap it over to a brand new Gmail address without losing a single thing. Your photos, your emails, your Drive files, all of it stays exactly where it is. In this video, I'm going to show you where this setting lives, walk you through making the change, and explain what actually happens when you do it. Because there are a couple of rules here that you'll really want to understand before you click the button, not after. So let's get into it. Now, a quick bit of context first, because it does matter. What we're doing here is changing the primary email on your Google account and pointing it at a brand new Gmail address. The key word here is brand new. So let me be really clear about this. You are not linking up some other Gmail account that you've already got somewhere else. You're actually creating the new address as part of this process, and it has to be one that doesn't exist yet. I'll come back to why that matters in a few minutes. The other word that matters is primary. So you're not deleting anything, and you're not creating a whole new account. The address you're moving away from doesn't vanish. It just sticks around on your account as an alias. We'll see exactly what that means shortly, but the short version is that nothing you care about gets left behind. And one other thing to flag up front, this is only for personal Google accounts. So if your account was set up through your work, your school, or some other organization, this setting isn't yours to change. That one sits with your system administrator. And Google's also rolling this out gradually, so if you don't see these options just yet, that's almost certainly why. But just know that the rollout has started gaining speed, so if you don't see it yet, just keep an eye out, it will be there very, very soon. Okay, let's now go and find it. Head to myaccount.google.com. You'll get asked to sign in, just like you'd expect, and you'll land on this main account page. Over on the left-hand side, we want to look for the option that says Personal Info. Go ahead and give that a click. On the Personal Info page, you'll see all of the usual stuff. So your profile picture, your name, and so on. The one we're after is the section labeled Email. It'll show you your current Google account email, as well as any alternative email addresses that you may have linked. Click into it and you'll see a handful of options. The one right at the top is your Google account email. And this is the bit that's got some new changes. Normally, this row did absolutely nothing. You couldn't touch it. But now there's a little arrow on the right, that caret icon here. And that's your sign that this is actually clickable. Give it a click and you'll likely be prompted to authenticate your account in order to continue. It then takes you through to a page showing your current account email with a brand new button that says Change Google Account Email. Click that button and Google will open up a section explaining what's about to happen. Don't just skip past this one, it's actually worth a read, so let me walk you through it. First up, your data is safe. Changing your account email does not touch anything saved in your account, so your photos, your messages, and your emails all stay put. The reason is that your account isn't really defined by the email address itself. The email is basically just the label on the front. The actual account underneath stays exactly the same. Second, you'll see a note saying that some of your devices and services might pick up the new address straight away, while others will carry on showing the old one for a while. That is completely normal. Anything created before the change, like an old calendar invite, will keep the old address baked into it, because that's the address that it was stamped with at the time. But from here on, the new one will show up, and the rest may well catch up as things refresh. And third, and this is the one that actually matters day to day, you'll still receive any email that is sent to your old address, and it all lands in the same Gmail inbox. So your old address basically becomes what we call an alias. You can still sign in with it, you'll still receive email on it, it just stops being the primary label on your account. Think of it like keeping your old phone number active and pointing it at your new phone. Nothing gets missed. Now, this is the part that we want to slow down on because there's a rule tucked in here that's pretty easy to miss. So the address that you type in here needs to be a brand new Gmail address, one that doesn't already exist. So please, 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 I cannot stress this enough. Do not go off and create the Gmail address that you want as a separate account first and then try to use it here. That will not work because the address will already be taken. What you want to do instead is create it right here as part of this process so that it gets tied properly to your one Google account with no dramas. You're not making a new account, remember. What you're doing is just giving your existing account a new address. Now for the rules themselves. Once you've done this, you can switch back to an address that you've already used whenever you like. There's no waiting, no cooldown periods or anything like that. Flicking between the addresses that are already on your account is completely free. But creating a brand new one is rate limited. You can only do this once every 12 months. And you can only do it 3 times over the whole life of an account. So counting your original email, that's a maximum of 4 Gmail addresses, ever. And a freshly created address is locked in for the first 12 months. You can't even delete it in that window. So the takeaway is pretty simple here. Whatever new address that you choose to create here, please make sure that it is the one you actually want, because you're essentially committing to having it on your account for at least a year. With that sorted, I'll type in the new address that I'm creating, which is paulsyoutubedemo@gmail.com, and I click Change Email. Google will then double check with you. Are you sure this is the change that you want to make? If you are, click Yes, Change Email. And if you've had a change of heart, just hit Cancel on that pop-up and nothing happens. And that's it. Your account email is now changed. So what if you want to switch it back later or move to a different address again? On that same page, down at the bottom, you'll now see a section called Alternative Emails. Find the address that you want, and there's a button next to it that says Make this your Google account email. Click that and it will switch your primary straight back over to whichever one you picked. Nice and easy. There is one little catch worth knowing though. Only addresses that end in @gmail.com will show up as options here. So if you've linked an alternative email that's an Outlook address, a Hotmail one, or something on your own custom domain, those can still stay attached to your account for signing in and recovery, but you can't make one of them your primary. This whole feature is Gmail to Gmail only. The reason for this is because the account lives inside Google's own mail system, so the address you make your primary one has to be a Gmail one. Right, this is the bit the help page won't really shove in your face, basically the handful of things worth checking once you've made the change, just so nothing catches you off guard. The big one is sign in with Google. Anywhere that you log in using your Google account, so third-party apps, websites, the odd subscription, some of those might not immediately twig that your new address is the same account. Most of them should be totally fine, but if something asks you to log in again or reauthorize, this is why. So if you lean on sign in with Google in a lot of places, it's worth a quick run through in your head before you switch. And a couple of smaller ones. Like I mentioned earlier, your old address hangs around in older records, so things like past calendar invites and shared files will still likely show that. That is, however, just purely cosmetic, but it can confuse some of the people that you may share stuff with, so it's handy to know. And it's also worth a quick glance at your recovery and contact email settings afterwards, just to make sure that everything still points where you want it to. None of this is a deal breaker, and for the vast majority of people, this is a clean, painless switch. But a 2-minute check afterwards beats a confusing surprise next week. And that's the lot. You can now change the primary email on your Google account over to a brand new Gmail address, your data stays put, your old address keeps working as an alias, and the main thing to remember is that creating a new address commits you to it for 12 months. For something that used to be flat out impossible, it's a genuinely handy change, especially if you've got lumped with a Gmail address that you created years ago at school that you've quietly cringed about ever since. And if you've got a question that I didn't cover, or you hit something odd with your own account, pop it in the comments and I'll do my best to help out. And if there's another Google feature that you'd like me to walk through properly, let me know down there as well, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to check out the channel, and if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.